Hi everyone, it's Ken from Whispering Souls. Um, I've been talking to my wife recently, and she showed me a few videos of a gentleman who's been talking to, I'm not quite sure what the name is, but it's ET or somebody that's, extraterrestrial. Um, so kind of like what we would have with spirit guides, or there's one that was in the 1960s as well. But it was kind of an interesting discussion, and I've been thinking about this even before that. And Bernard had mentioned this a long time ago, but I kind of like dismissed it and never really came back. But it's been popping in my head, so I'm assuming that there's a reason for it to pop back into my head, and so that's something I kind of need to do. Anyway, so I discussed this with my wife, and as I'm discussing, I'm getting more and more thoughts. And I kind of realize now that over all the time that I've been with Bernard, my spirit guide, that he's only been showing me little things. Perhaps little things that he feels that I can understand, or things that perhaps I don't need to know. But I had a conversation with him. I went to his cottage and I sat down and meditated, talked to him, and we got this whole discussion about this gentleman who was referring to. His reference was that we had multiple lives all concurrent at the same time, and they could be thousands of lives. And when I was thinking about that, I was listening to this gentleman, was, okay, well, that doesn't make sense to Bernard's saying we only have 93 lives. 92 as humans and 1 as an animal. And so, that's when I went to see him, and I said, this doesn't make sense. I mean, if I believe in what he says, then what you're saying is wrong. And I mean, who's right? Who's wrong? And so, he kind of smiled and he looked at me and said, okay, let's widen this range of concept. And he says, you do have concurrent lives. You do have, I could be living in this life, but I could have, and he says there's 5 other lives I'm running concurrent. But he says these other 5 lives have no purpose in your training. There's no connection to them. You wouldn't be able to walk up to him and say, hey, that's me. Because there'd be no point in us knowing that that person is ours. We could walk right by them. We could be talking to them. They're having their own existence. They have their own bodies. Everything is different, other than on a spiritual side, we can talk to each other, but we can't talk to each other on the physical plane. Well, we don't even talk to each other. We're the one spirit, and we're getting all this information coming in at once. So in other words, my conscience will be hearing to all 6, and working with all 6 to help each 6 lives move forward. But the one thing he also points out is that, just because you have the 6 lives going on, not all of them are for your learning. He says, this life that I'm facing now, that the one body and the one I'm talking to now, is the one that's in its learning process. I'm teaching people. I'm learning about spirituality. I'm learning about mediumship. I'm learning all about the stuff about the mediumship. And I'm passing that on to people, and people are passing that back to me. So it's a whole process in this life of me learning from people and from everything else. The other 5, though, he says, are not probably, but are helpers. They're going out to help people in their lives. One life may be going out and be a sudden, meeting somebody and saying, hey, I can help you with this problem. Or, it's like we always say, there are earth angels. Some of these earth angels are just perhaps even yourself talking to you, because we can't identify each other. So the whole concept of this is that we're in people's lives to help them in their learnings and their moving forward. It would be the same as how I would appear right now to somebody to help them move forward, because I would appear to them as somebody who's helping them. So the whole concept of us having multiple lives is very prominent and very realistic, simply because in the spirit world we can do that. We can split ourselves in very many different parts of us, and we can move into different areas. We can, somebody's passed over can be in your house and another family's house and talk exactly the same time. And this is what we're doing in the spiritual world. We are splitting up ourselves. We're coming back in multiple lives for different purposes. Whether it's for our own learning, or whether we come to Earth to help people, and then leave either shortly after, or we're long-time friends with somebody. It really doesn't matter. It's kind of like and I think that's where the Earth Angels theory comes from. We come to help people for however long it is, for however short time it is. We are coming to help people, and therefore, as we learn this life for ourselves, and then we're going to school or whatnot, we have other lives going on that are actually helping people. So kind of another look, if you want to look at this, is in this life I'm being the student. I'm in the class, somebody's teaching me, I'm writing all this down, and so on and so forth. And in another life, at the same concurrent time, which could be a completely different timeline, like this could be 1500s, my other life, I'm the teacher and you're the student. So as I'm learning in this life, in another life I'm teaching other people, and I'm different things. I could be a friend that pops in, and just different ways of how we assist people in their lives. So I know that was confusing. I hope that didn't really confuse everybody, but ask questions please ask questions, and I hope to clarify that if it didn't clarify. The bottom line is that we do have multiple lives. We have one main life, and the rest of them are for helping other people. And that's what I get from my spirit guide. Anyway, take care and talk to you later. Bye.